it's Jess and welcome to a new reading vlog. I hope you all are doing well. I'm here with a cup of hot matcha and my cozy blankets because I'm just taking a little break from work. I am having a bit of a slower day, just feel really tired and run down and feeling a little bit sick. I think it's just with the weather and people getting sick at this time of the year. So I'm trying to just take it easy, pace myself, but I did want to start a new vlog because I have some exciting things coming up. I'm planning to go to Disneyland this weekend if I'm still feeling good, and also I am enjoying my current read. I'm still reading the book of Azrael from the previous vlog. I am reading a bit slower. I think it is a good thing because I really do want to savor this read. So I'm about 70% in, and I think the last time I spoke I was mentioning the whole tension and the build-up of the two main characters, Diana and Samuel, and I feel like we're at the point, kind of like the point of no return, in that they both are starting to process and make sense of their own individual feelings for each other, and they're realizing, you know, there's no going back from how they feel right now. So it's very exciting, and I also am seeing the story is really picking up. We're making way with the conflict, and hopefully we're able to confront that conflict. But yeah, that is it for the book. I am really enjoying it. I foresee this being a 4.5 or a 5-star read. I feel like the end will determine that for me, so I'll keep you guys updated on my thoughts. I have quite a number of book mail with me, so I figured I would do just a quick unboxing. The last one was pretty chaotic, so this one might be too. Apologies in advance. So the first one I have is my December book of the month. I'm partnering with them on Bookstagram, and I love their subscription so much because I feel like as a mood reader it's so hard to figure out what I want to read, and I'm always on the lookout for new authors and just genres that really push me outside of my comfort zone. And I feel like book of the month does a really good job doing that, and I love their selection. It really introduces me to different books that I normally don't see on my feed or people talking about, and I feel like that's where the fun is, in discovering new books that, you know, not a lot of people are talking about. So first one is The Kingdom of Sweets by Erica Johansson, and I believe this author wrote The Queen of the Tearling. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's one of my favorite series, and this one is supposed to be an adaptation or inspired by The Nutcracker, so that's really interesting. I don't normally read holiday inspired books or holiday romances, so it would be interesting to dive into this one. I know it's centered with fantasy and a storyline between two sisters, and this just sounds like such a whimsical and enchanting read, perfect for the holidays. The next book I got is A Winter in New York by Josie Silver, and this is a holiday romance. The story is about a young chef who stumbles upon a recipe that leads her to her true love, and I have wanting to read more holiday romances. The most recent one I read was Holiday Star, and it was so cute, so cozy, and I can see myself snuggling with my cozy blanket, hot cup of tea or coffee, and enjoying this. So I will be sharing my annotations and my thoughts with you guys on my Bookstagram for this book, so make sure to check out my Bookstagram for that. Next book I got is You Beautiful Thing You by Saffron Kent, and this is a standalone in one of Saffron Kent's series, and this one is about a girl who is seeking to get revenge against one of her brother's rivals. Seeking revenge is to get pregnant and leave him in the dust. So that sounds very intriguing, very juicy. I haven't read anything by this author before, so I'm very intrigued about this book, and it also came with tarot cards, so sneaking around. Okay, these are the tropes, and I'm now realizing this is one of them. I've never read a book with that trope before. So I'm very intrigued. Enemies to lovers, okay. Gray sweatpants, yes. Okay, 69 in the moonlight. This is quite, and it's a soccer romance. So these are the tropes. This is quite a spicy sounding book. The next book I got is from Penguin Random House, and they sent over an arc of Feybound, and I know this is one of the anticipated like fantasy romance releases of 2024, so I'm excited about this. There's a lot of court politics, a lot of fae, a lot of magic, and yeah, this sounds really interesting. And like with all the books, I'll keep you guys updated when I start this. Last book mail I got is from Good Girls PR, and this is a Lauren Blakely book. I haven't read anything by her, but I know her books are spicy and juicy. So the first thing in here is a cute little tote bag. It's with her name, and I love that her books are described as cute but spicy books that make you blush. We also have a candle, and it's flamingo key. That smells really good. It really reminds me of Hawaii. Some cute annotation tabs, and we also got some stickers. I'm in my Lauren Blakely era, and make it spicy. A cute little like aesthetic board. The book is A Real Good Bad Thing, and the tropes are a dirty talking mailman character, love that, forced proximity, a protective mailman character, rom-com adventure, mystery, sneaking around, and public spice. So that sounds super juicy. I'm getting lots of summer vibes from this book, so I might have to wait until it warms up here too before starting this. But I just realized that there is a cat on the cover. There is a cat, so we might have to prioritize this on our TBR friends. Hi guys, and happy Monday. I feel like I did such a really bad job of vlogging over this past weekend, but it was really busy and really fun. I went to Disneyland with my husband, and we had such a great time eating and making our way through the rides in Disneyland. They had their food festival for the holidays, so we tried so many different foods, and I am so excited to go back soon and eat more food. That's like one of our favorite things to do at the park. I had some holiday parties for my work and my husband's work, so I wasn't able to unfortunately do a lot of reading, but I did finish my book yesterday. So I finished the book of Azrael by Nicole, and I talked about this earlier, and this is an urban fantasy. It's set in a world where there's gods and celestials living amongst mortals after the gods' planet was destroyed, and the main characters are a monster named Diana and a god named Liam, and they have like an enemies to lovers relationship. They're trying to find an ancient artifact called the Book of Azrael so that they can stop from the world basically being destroyed. And overall, this was a 5 out of 5 star read. I was a bit hesitant about starting an urban fantasy, and it did take me a while to get into it, but around 20% in, I was instantly hooked, and the last half of the book was crazy. We had the romance come to kind of like a culmination. You know, we see the tension, the pining, and they both give in, as always, in enemies to lovers, and just their dynamic is so good. So it's a grumpy sunshine romance, and Diana is, you know, she reminds me a lot of me in my relationship with my husband, in that she's very feisty, she's a woman who knows what she wants basically, and Liam is just in it, going with the flow, and their dynamic it's so fun. So seeing that relationship between two powerful characters, it's always so interesting. So the book ended with such a crazy ending, and at first I was like, what did I just read? Is this really how the book ended? So I had to text Tina, and I was like, did this really just happen? She said yes. it did happen. So as I was working, I was literally trying to fight the urge to not pick up my Kindle and read the next one. So right now I'm on my lunch break and I'm going to read the next book, and the next one is The Throne of Broken Gods. So I'm really excited, but also really scared knowing how the last book ended. And a lot of people said the second book is even better, which I love to hear that, because I feel like with series, sometimes book one is really, really good and then you get disappointed because book two just falls flat. But knowing that book two is even better, really excited, but also really, really scared. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on my thoughts. I am on my lunch break when I go get my eyebrows waxed and pick up some cat food, but now I'm going to relax with my Kindle. I have here my little lunch that I picked up at the cafe, and I'm gonna go read. Hi guys, so obviously I am back at home and I had a really good workout and dinner and got ready for bed, but I have been able to read more of Throne of Broken Gods and I'm about 6% in. I believe this is just a really large book, but I am on the 5th chapter and already I am blown away. This book is a lot better than book one, and book one was amazing, don't get me wrong, but there's something about book two where it's captivating me with every page. The world building is insane. The main character, Diana, is literally the epitome of female rage. I am loving it. If you love the badassery of like Aelin from Throne of Glass, the Mind F series, it is very similar to that in the sense of the female rage is literally she is not holding back, and I am here for it. But at the same time, there's a lot of like angst and a lot of emotion that I'm trying to like get through because it's actually pretty dark and sad. But overall, this book has been phenomenal. I know I'm only 5 chapters in, but everyone says book 2 is better and I just wholeheartedly agree. So I don't know, I'm not going to be able to put this book down, and I'm so sad that I have to work an adult tomorrow because all I want to do is just read this book all day. But I'm also trying to savor it as much as I can because this was released, I think, in the middle of this year, so next book isn't probably going to be out for a while, so I'm really sad about that. But again, this book has been wonderful and I just 10 out of 10 highly recommend it. So I'm going to be reading this just like tonight. I'll tell you guys all of my thoughts and probably do some reading tomorrow before I head to work. So good night. So it's been a couple of days since I last vlogged, but I did make really good progress with the Throne of Broken Gods. So last night I stayed up until 3 a.m. reading the book because I just could not put it down. So I am on chapter 26, about 30% into the book, and literally I am just in awe of where the story is going because I feel like the world building is so intense. It's opened up so much and it's very reminiscent of Throne of Glass, of Akatar, and that there's prophecies and there's mysteries. There's a lot of alluding to what will come in the future, and when I'm reading a book that is so well written like that, I need to know what's going to happen already. So hence why I stayed up so late reading the book. But Along with the whole Throne of Glass similarities, I found that the main character Diana reminds me so much of Aelin. I think especially in like Queen of Shadows, Aelin is in a really dark place and she's taking it out on the world. She's seeking vengeance, and that's very much where Diana is. So without spoiling too much, she literally is epitome of female rage. I am all about that, but at the same time, it's very also similar, very similar to A Court of Silver Flames with Nesta, and how she's able to reconcile all this rage within her and move on from it. Because as gratifying as it is to read a story of a woman embodying female rage, it's also knowing that on the other side there's a reason behind that rage, and you want the character to, you know, find peace as well. So it's a very interesting and emotional journey to see Diana's transformation from book one to book two. She goes through a lot. I don't want to spoil it, but she goes through a lot, and there is a reason that she is the way she is in book two. And yes, it's badass, it's powerful, but it's also emotional, and it's a lot. And I feel like the romance that was in book one is all the more romantic in book two because it's very real and it's very raw. So as much as I love a good, you know, like worth it scene where the romance culminates into something really, really good, I also love the process of it being like a slow burn. It's very drawn out because I feel like it's more realistic that way. I know I talked about in previous vlogs that it reminds me a lot of like Loki and Marvel, and I will say that there is a huge similarity in book two with just like the universe and new characters we're introduced to. So this book is really huge. I think it's around 700 pages, and everything, I just want to have a day where I just devour this book. So I finished The Throne of Broken Gods. I'm not okay because that ending was insane. So much happened. The world literally is infinitely times more bigger. Lots of characters are in play. So much heartbreak and so much emotional pain. But overall, a fantastic read. I probably enjoyed this even more than the first book, the Book of Azrael. And if I had to rate it, I would give this book infinite amount of stars, as just to how beautiful and crazy it was. It was truly just like a roller coaster of emotions, and I feel like I'm just in the biggest book hangover, and I need the next book in my hands now. So yeah, I'm just trying to process everything that happened because I was 90% in and I just had to keep reading it because so much was just happening. So if you want a dark fantasy book filled with like slow burn romance with an insane plot and world building, you need to read this series, because I haven't read a book like this ever that just, you know, I've connected with the characters so much, and I feel like I don't know, I feel like there's like a void inside of me after reading this book. I will say that I also love the side characters as much as I do the main characters, and I was a bit hesitant about like the multiple point of views, but they were so well written and played such a huge, crucial role in developing the story. And yeah, now I'm just like, how are things going to be resolved? I know the author said she plans to expand the series to like 6 or 7 books, and I'm just like, wow, like there's so much that can happen within this world, within this story, and I just need to know what happens, because right now I'm just like, I just want my babies, my main character babies, to be happy and just, you know, with everyone. And yeah, so infinite amount of stars, 10 out of 10, recommend to everyone. It's definitely safest for TBR. Read this in 2024, maybe when book 3 comes out, so you don't have to suffer through the waiting game like me. So I think that will be the end of the reading vlog. Thank you guys for watching, sticking around with me as I read a book 2 of Gods and Monsters. I will see you soon for our next reading vlog. I will be reading a dystopian book, so I'm excited for that, and I'll see you guys soon.